What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on, y'all? We got what we gonna do first. The fair use. We're gonna say fair use, even though we ain't played yet. We're gonna say fair use. Fair use. Fair use. Fair use. Fair use. Because we're gonna play these clips again. Of course we are. Of course we are. Um, Shout out to BGS. Yeah. So we're covering the Deontay Kyle thing for the one zillionth time. And yes, L's active. I think it was L's active who said that. Um, No, I do think that was a snipe at me. I didn't want to be so arrogant and say it was me, but I got a couple of people who think it was me, and I kind of think it was me. So yeah, it could be anybody. It could be anybody in the Black Minister. He could be talking about BGS for all we know. We don't know. We don't know who he's talking about. Either way, um, so what are we trying? This is reckless. Oh, reckless tax in effect. Oh, this is definitely a reckless streams. Ooh, is it reckless? So y'all bear with if y'all hear any pause, any weird noises in the background. Do not put it in the comments. Do not put it in the comments. All right. Um. So with that, we'll play these and we'll come back on the other end and we'll speak about it once again. The clips. So BGS playing this thing more in full and giving us a bit more context only reaffirms what we were saying before, but of course it did. Once again, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Here we go.
You may not harass women. You may know how to take rejection. The majority of men that most women deal with do not.
Yeah.
And you are accountable for that as well. Because I don't got time to figure out which white people are nice, which white people aren't racist, or da-da-da-da-da. I have to go on the actions of the group.
Right.
The group as a whole and the history of that group as a whole tells me that they are a danger to me and they are not to be trusted.
Right.
And if you can understand that as a black man and your stance towards white people, then you should absolutely be able to understand women's stance towards you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a war on you waged by women. Actually, the war get a little thicker when we start talking about it from the perspective of a woman and the greater society of racism and white supremacy being waged against black people, and then the patriarchal society being waged against women. So they have to deal with two elements. One of those elements we don't have to think about, and honestly, we're perpetuated.
Mm-hmm.
And it's perpetuated against us young to look at women as objects,
Right.
you know, to look at women only through the lens of a sexual desire and not as the human being that they are. And when you understand how to deal with women on a human level, you understand how much women will enrich your life.
Mm. Amen. Amen.
You want to turn it up a notch?
Yeah.
Get you a good woman get you a good black woman in your corner.
Amen.
Hey man, you want to see your life turn up?
Hey.
And see, this is the thing though. It's a privilege, bro. It's a privilege. You know what I'm saying? We often disregard the power of our black women. The spiritual essence that they're gonna bring to things. The knowing, the seeing, you know what I'm saying? Also too, imagine it. They have to be hyper vigilant because they have to be constantly scanning the room, making sure that they're in a safe situation.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? When we think about these kids who were clearly in Louisiana having the time of their fucking life because they graduated, and we think about white people's reaction to Black Joy.
Oh yeah, that's
it's not about civility. It's not about decorum. They don't like to see us happy.
That's what it is.
Now, how often are women just having a good time, and here come a nigga trying to ruin their fun?
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. You can call it pandering, but if I was up here caping for white women, you wouldn't even mention that word. If I was up here caping for Hispanic women, you wouldn't even call it pandering. Only when we take pride and show love to black women do you call it pandering. Get your motherfucking mind right. Use your cabeza. I don't care if it's getting lost on you. I don't care about being called. I don't care. Simp, panderer, don't matter. Accountability in 5. Here's the thing. Doctors, lawyers, politicians, entrepreneurs, young academics, educators, astrophysicists, media personalities, they all support the Grits and Eggs podcast. So I don't care what the dark serpent Osiris son, the god,
Who, son? What's his name?
Third Eye Osiris, the Serpent King. You know, niggas with names like that.
Yeah.
I seen a nigga come on like, look, y'all, this is what I be talking about. Niggas is that love that esoteric knowledge.
Yeah.
This young dude come on, greetings, Planet Kai. I was like, oh shit.
Greetings, Planet Kai. Yeah, is nigga, crazy.
Nigga think he Captain Planet.
Captain Planet.
He trying to get together the elements. Greetings, Planet Kai. It's like, I don't expect that nigga to agree with me.
Right.
Because they're leaning into like esoteric knowledge and cult behavior.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Cults need a leader. And 9 out of 10, that leader, for some reason, needs to sleep with everybody. Greetings, Planet Kai. The crown chakra, the third god, the sun king, the water god. Niggas are
the water god.
The water
niggas
god,
know how to swim.
Yeah. Nigga thinking Poseidon now. I think the thing is this. I have some empathy towards the red pill community. But I have a question for the red pill community too. Where are your scholars? Because there's never been an articulation about what they disagree with. It's just that I don't agree. I don't have to be accountable for other men's actions. We'll get to that in a second.
First, let's shout out the joke of the day on BGS's channel. Y'all know Mr. Z likes to refrain from ad hominem attacks, but this one I couldn't let fly. Whoever said he looked like Little Flip had me dead. I was beating myself up. I was punching the air. Like, how did I not think of that? How did I not think of Lil Flip? Whoever said it, he don't really look like Lil Flip, but it's good enough. Whoever said that and then said game over. Oh, whoever said he looked like Lil Flip, shout yourself out if you're here right now. Oh my God. Oh no, whoever said he looked like Lil Flip, Jesus. Woo. That was good. That was funny. That was funny. Oh man. Okay, all right, Z. All right. First, no, we ain't gonna make no real ad hominem attacks on FDLs. We gonna let FD live. We gonna let FD live. First, secondly, I think FD could roast too. I think he probably is pretty good at roasting. I said it before. FD looked like the cousin that was sitting in the corner, just scheming, like waiting for y'all to start with him, right? Like his mom got a little scratch, moved him out to the burbs, and like he was the cousin that would come to grandma's house maybe once a month, once every other month, right? And he was waiting for the hood cousins to try to flame him because he was ready, right? So, don't be ranking on Gunplay like that. Gunplay more fit than him. I met Gunplay in real life. Oh, and El said he's the feminist Gunplay. Els, what you know about Gunplay? You in the UK. What do you know about Gunplay? Other than the fact that he got jumped by 50 Cent's people. That was forever ago. We ain't gonna count that. We ain't gonna count that. That's funny. That's funny. Oh man. That's funny. Man, look, the thing with this, and we're a little moment of serious. The thing with this, I mean it when I say it. All of this talk means nothing if you're not going to get black women subsidized. To FD, to this brother Deontay Kyle, none of what y'all talking mean anything if you're not going to get black women subsidized. And you're not going to get black women subsidized with the asshole attitudes. I appreciate BGS for playing it. And we got to see how they're attempting to reframe this. But it's the same thing. It's don't believe your lying eyes. The algorithm's feeding you crap. The algorithm's feeding us the same black women that we saw in 2020 when Kevin Samuels was alive. It's the same black women we saw in talk shows in the 90s. It's the same black women we saw in the 80s, especially the late 80s. It's the same black women. Okay, fine, it's not the same black women, it's their mothers. It was their grandmothers, and now it's them. Now it's beginning to be their daughters. It's the same asshole, mean, condescending, rude, dismissive black women. Huh? It's the same black women. Everyone's talking this crap, and it's the same black women. Huh? It's the same women. You know, when he spoke about the algorithm, and I'm speaking about something I didn't play here. BGS played it on his stream. All I could hear is the same thing. I'm trying to see if I could bring this up so I can play this for you guys. Um, all I kept on hearing was, and I've said this before, if we perceive black men as behaving bad, we make sure to say black men. We're very explicit. We're very in your face. We're very overt. Black men. If black women are behaving inappropriately, if they're misbehaving, we say black people, right? We either say black people, we minimize it, we dismiss it, we ask the person, why are you overemphasizing this? All right. Dear Deontay Kyle, dear FD Signifier, and your ilk, the issue you have is that the black boys and men, definitely under the age of 50, definitely under the age of 40, have fun trying to convince the ones under the age of 30. It ain't happening. They categorically reject the idea that black women are morally superior to black men. They categorically reject the idea of intersectionality. This is your biggest hurdle. You can't convince them, Deontay Kyle, to buy into intersectionality. You can't. Have fun trying. My stream this morning, I showed it. Kamal Bell describing intersectionality, white wife. Sound nice. Uh-oh. Sibo Campbell agreeing with him, saying, oh, we need a matriarch, and I believe that, matriarchy and matriarchy and matriarchy. Oh, that sound nice. Ex-wife, white, current girlfriend, wife, some mixed-ish. Uh-oh. Some type of mixed. Huh? We keep on minimizing the plight of the men and the boys. We keep on telling him it's a figment of their imagination. Let's be very clear. The elites put the thumb on the scales for the women. Did they really believe in the women? No. Are they really the sexist monsters? Yes. And guess what? They still put the thumb on the scales for the women because number one, cheaper. Number two, more pliant. Oops. Huh? Less of a threat. Less of a physical threat. Uh-oh. Huh? The elites put the thumb on the scales for the women, especially in the black community, for black women over the give or take past 50, 60-ish years. And Donald Trump and JD Vance and Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy said, I got something for that ass. And we're here now, for black women in specific. Deontay Kyle, you can't fix that with telling the young men to not believe their lying eyes, that they're sexist monsters. I want to stress this again. I said it in BGS's comments. This idea that if you're not kissing black women's ass, then you are wannabe white racist. It ain't flying. And quite frankly, if you push enough young black men back to the wall, they're gonna tell you, well, I guess I'm a white racist then. Oops. If the juxtaposition is either you over here kissing black women's ass, I want to be very clear, y'all gonna say it differently, you're gonna reframe it differently. What the young black men are hearing is either we're kissing black women's ass, reassuring them all the time, quote unquote, protecting them from themselves, from other black men, from men in general, from society, putting our life on the line for, mean, condescending, rude, entitled, wannabe white women brats. Huh? Either we're doing that as a group, as a cohort, as individuals, or we're these conservative, Republican, really wannabe white racists. And that juxtaposition, it sounds nice, but the black young men said I ain't going. Huh? They're not going on your they're not going to your speed dating events, they're not going to your mixers, they're not going to your um matchmaking events, they're not attending your HBCUs. Huh? They're interacting with black women less and less on a romantic level, and y'all keep on pushing the issue. They're gonna be interacting with black women less and less platonically. As one young lady called into Real Talk with Yanni maybe 2 or so years ago out of Canada, and she said it was only two of them black folks. It was her. This was a young black woman. It was her and a young black man that worked at this spot, and the young black man avoided her like the plague. God damn. Huh? Deontay, FD, and FD was, if he was trying to snipe at me, who am I? I'm FD signifier. FD, you could have your million subscribers, you could get your money, brother. Get your money. But Mr. Z is all about shaming, and if you think I'm trying to shame you, that's because I am. Let this sit on your conscience. Nothing you say means anything. Nothing Olay means anything. Excuse me. Nothing Olay says mean anything. Nothing you say means anything. Nothing Conscious Lee says mean anything. Nothing T Noir says means anything. Nothing Nappy Headed Hoban says means anything. Nothing Cat Black says means anything. Nothing Delaney says means anything. Nothing the brothers out of Waving the Red Flag says mean anything. Nothing Foreign Man in a Foreign Land says means anything. Nothing Professor Odie says mean anything. God damn, Z, how long can you go? There's a lot of them. Mr. Z could go a while. Nothing Andrewism says means anything. Nothing anything any of you, the ones I missed, huh? Kim Foster, all of you. Nothing any of you says means anything if you can't get black men to subsidize black women. If you can't get someone to subsidize black women, huh? Because that student loan debt, goddamn Z, you actually bought it up. That student loan debt is a mug. And economic data analysis shows that black women's average student loan balance is the highest of any racial group. 43.3% compared to black men's 32.1%, white women's 19.9%, so we'll just say 20 for that one. White men's 15.7%, Hispanic women's 24.1%. If you want to just make it a little bit better for black women, you could round that up to a quarter, 25%, right? If you want to be generous. Huh? Yikes. If black women are not on black men's program, Deontay, what you talking about don't mean nothing. If black women are not on black men's program, FD signifier, what you're saying means nothing. Y'all could be as antagonistic as you want to be. You could be as mean as you want to be. You could be as dismissive as you want to be. FD, you once said at the end of one of your videos, y'all are scaring the hoes. No, sir. The hoes are scaring the bros, number one. Number two, somebody gonna have to pay for these hoes. And if black men in an increasing number have decided to not pay for these hoes, then guess what? These hoes are going to die penniless and kinless. Ooh, goddamn, see another one. A disproportionate number of black women are kinless as they age. Advocates say they deserve a social safety net. Why does that matter, Z? Just because they kinless, that means nothing. Oh, does it now? Okay, black and Latina women who never marry are the least wealthy in the U.S. Oh boy, Z, you coming with the numbers today. How do we know, Z? Wait, in 2023, the real median income for black women in the U.S. was approximately $36,303 per year. Not that average, that's when they count full-time only, of 50 some odd thousand. Get out of here. Huh? This is significantly lower than the median income of $57,005 per year for white non-Hispanic men. Ah, yeah, about that. Huh? Man. Huh? That's the world we're living in, everyone. Mr. Z over here getting tongue-tied. That's the world we're living in. Deontay, FD, all of you over there in cornbread tube, and I know Deontay probably ain't cemented in yet. Everything you saying mean nothing. You could be as antagonistic as you want to be. Huh? You could be as antagonistic as you want to be, but guess what? Some black people said, yeah, we might have to get on black men's program because we gonna be out here struggling and starving. Play it.
Black women, they are doing the same thing to us that they did to black men 40 years ago, which is pushing us out of the workforce. That's what they did to black men. And that is what caused the major divide within our community with regards to the gender wars. We saw black men the way they wanted us to see them because they didn't have the upward mobility that we had because of our jobs that we were able to get in the federal government. For one, the federal government was one of the biggest job employers for black women, and they're pushing us out left and right. We lost more jobs last month than any other demographic, and those jobs are not coming back. And if they come back, they not going to give them to us. I don't care what degree you got. Because you can see right now, they don't care nothing about those degrees. As soon as we started getting it, they ain't mean anything anymore. I say this to say, we going to have to work with black men. Whatever grief you got with black men, get over it. It's time for us to work together. We need them and they need us. And this is just more proof of that.
Huh? But wait. This black woman is not the only one that's starting to be like, see, about that gender war and all that conflict and all that talking to these men crazy. See, about that.
Gender relations in our nation are at an all-time low. And the reason is because we've been sold this con that progress is a zero-sum game. That if women rise, men have to fall. That if people of color get a shot, white people lose theirs. And we're so distracted, so intentionally divided, that we can't see that we're all losing in this game. Because some people rather project an illusion of meritocracy than allow us to live in a real one. And the con, it only works if we're divided. Because if we're too busy pointing fingers, we can't see that the game's been rigged all along. And once a system convinces you that it's fair, it doesn't have to change. For years, I have been talking about how we need to teach girls to be brave, not perfect, but I barely even thought about how we need to teach boys to be soft, not stoic, to connect, not control, to reimagine a version of manhood where strength requires sensitivity, empathy, and care. Because that's how disconnection works. It convinces you that your fight is the only one that matters. And all along, boys needed a lesson in bravery too, because boys are struggling. They're more anxious, they're lonelier, they're less likely to go to college, more likely to die of suicide and overdose. And instead of being handed care, they're being handed division. Not just by the podcast bros, but by a government that is actively stoking the divide. When very rich and powerful people want to dismantle pipeline programs that give everyone else a fair shot, you got to ask yourself, why? They've built a world where men and women don't talk to each other, don't see each other, don't trust each other. Disconnection isn't just the consequence, it's the goal. Because if we don't see each other, we won't stand up for each other. Class of 2025, the story that you've been told that power is the pie, and you got to fight for your slice, that's a lie. They got you so busy fighting a gender war to keep you from fighting a class war. Real power comes from connection. When we commit to one another's success, we don't just survive, we soar.
Touching, truly. And Mr. Z would agree with her if the women weren't assholes. Ooh, goddamn. Materialistic, goddamn. Go send the men out there to go fight some class war and get their head taken off, and then the women are going to still end up with the evil winners anyway. Goddamn, Z, you said that out loud. Somebody's letting Elon Musk pipe. Ooh, goddamn, Z. Heard he got a botched peen surgery. Oh, goddamn, you said that out loud, Z. And you better stop it, Z, before he comes looking for you. Huh? Yikes. Z suspects that they're trying to turn this back super slowly, and as Edward Anderson was saying yesterday, and I can appreciate why Ed was so riled up, is because they're trying to move the black men into, excuse me, I said black men, not just black men, move the men, young men especially, into position without ever acknowledging that they did this on purpose. I'm talking to you, left. Y'all intentionally also engaged in the gender war. It's not just the rich white elite, mainly conservatives. Oh no, ladies. Oh yes, yes, yes. Z is saying it. Oh no, ladies, you engaged in this. Huh? Enthusiastically. You put the thumb on the scales for the women, but they're more pliant. You did that enthusiastically. And the young men who you were supposed to keep for a generation, I'm talking to you, left, said yeah about that. Uh-oh. Huh? Yikes. And so now y'all are saying, oh crap, what are we going to do? Ooh, we need the men. We need to bring the men back online. And if we don't, the conservatives, the Republicans are going to have them for a generation. Huh? No, what's really going to happen is that these young men, particularly the black ones, are just going to stay home. Huh? Yikes. What was it? Some 95 million voters stayed home or something, like 90 some odd million voters were like, yeah, about that. Harris or Trump? None. Neither. Both of them? No, actually neither. Else is not a bust PPL hysterical. Rumor has it. I don't know how true that is. I don't know how true that is. Right? Huh. So as y'all can see, it's not just Deontay Kyle. It's not just the black woman that I played earlier. It's also this I want to say she looks Latina. Right? And notice once again, when we're speaking about the gender war, we're not saying men explicitly, but we're implying the young men. We don't got nothing to say about the young women though. Huh? She's talking around the young men. Hey, y'all, slow up on the gender war. It's really a class war. It's really the elites. Y'all already know Mr. Z a lefty, so I agree. But I see you ain't say nothing to the women though. You even imply. See, you ain't say the men verbatim, but everybody got the message. Huh? Oh no. So while Deontay Kyle is telling black men to get their MF and minds right, while FD is being your standard FD, antagonistic, dismissive, huh? And saying, I'm MF and FD. Hey, look, FD, you could be FD signifier, like I said. Shout out to you in your success, and you did it in short order. That's good for you. Tell me how to help black women. You could keep on putting these think pieces out you could put out one of these think pieces every month, field pieces. You could put out one of these field pieces out every month. It means nothing if y'all can't get black women subsidized by someone, by a white man, by other black women, by black men. But we already know it's going to mainly be black men, and y'all haven't really presented a good enough deal. So guess what? I guess your average sister gonna be getting stepped over. She might be getting stepped on too. Goddamn. Huh? Yikes. Huh? Telescope. You hear me? And Telescope says Operation Slow Mo Reach Back. Exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. Let's read a couple of our super chats. And Joe says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, especially the fact that this is super reckless, super duper dumb reckless. Joe says, where are the scholars? Excuse me, where are your scholars? And Joe says loudly, we outside. Look, they ignore our scholars, duck and dodge our scholars, and then ask where are our scholars. You have a number of PhDs that are associated with the Black Manosphere or that are part of the Black Manosphere, some card-carrying ones, and they have open invitation for all of you, whether you're academic or not, whether you're academically inclined or not. Huh? Y'all duck and dodge them, and then say, where are your scholars? Man, you know what? To give Deontay a bit of grace, which he didn't give us, to give him a bit of grace, he don't know. FD know because he was the one ducking and dodging. Oops. FD know. Foreign know. Yikes. Consciously know because he want to deck one of them. Ooh, goddamn Z. Because that little sassy man stuff you be pulling probably ain't work with the professor in question, with the PhD in question. So now you want to deck him. Okay, yeah, that's it. Huh? Yeah, about that. Where are your scholars? Deontay, you don't know. Whatever black woman is informing you, whichever black woman is encouraging you, or whatever black man, okay, fine. It's not a black woman, Mr. Z got it all wrong. It's a black man. They're lying to you by omission, bro. They know you don't know enough. Ooh, goddamn Z. Ooh, you said that out loud. Deontay, they know you don't know enough. Huh? They know you don't know. They sending you on a send-off mission. And FD, by the way, I said that in the comments for BGS's stream. FD's not the only one to say that. It was I've essentially seen 3 people say this. It's FD and 2 other people who have said this. I want to say it was someone else. I want to say maybe even Delaney, maybe, or Ole, who have pretty much said this, which is Deontay Kyle is filling a niche, right? He's filling a niche because he's more in the streets, or he was in the streets, or he used to do his thing. And so he's speaking to the black men who are getting pulled over to more red pill content from the street side, right? They get pulled in from the street side. Yes, because those men are interacting with the women. God damn, y'all keep on skipping the first step. The first step is interacting with the women. The women's misbehavior, that's the first step. The divorce court, that's the first step. The baby mama drama, that's the first step. Y'all want to skip over that and be like, how can we get them in and get them to see it differently on the other side of that? Get the hell out of here. Let me know how it worked for you. Huh? Yikes. Where are your scholars? Exactly. Exactly, Joes. Exactly. Huh? And Els Active says, and thank you for the super chat, Els, I think the quote unquote wealthy, famous, quote, end quote, FD is low-key saying subscribe to intersectionality and get paid. If you drop it, Pyrex, and plus baking soda, I see where you're going. It turns to you want to see your life turn up, get you a black woman. Yeah. Hysterical. Apparently Buddy Rowe did play with his nose, so you got a nice reference. Nice reference. Right. I see what you did there. Huh? Ah. Right. And to speak to this, we kind of joke about this a bit. It did seem like a bit of an invitation to see these things differently, to speak about these things differently, and to make some money on the way up. From FD, I could have been out here, Lil Bill, with 100+ subscribers making money, but Mr. Z decided to be true to himself and be out here, yes, doing reckless streams. And shout out to, I think it was you, Els, who said it earlier, like, if Z would have took the deal, he wouldn't be out here doing reckless streams. And you're right, and Mr. Z wouldn't be working all these hours and trying to balance all this stuff. Don't put it in the comments. And yeah, and so here we are, right? But y'all look out, and I thank y'all for that, and I'm eternally grateful. With that, yeah, FD is making his money, and I to be fair, I don't think FD is just selling the soap. I think a bit of this he actually believes in. I'm not saying he's just selling the soap. I think a lot of it is selling the soap. I think a lot of it is being heavy-handed because that's what the algorithm he found his lane in the algorithm, right? And he's just going with it. And that's great, right? I know that Kendrick Lamar versus Drake um think piece, which I think was the best one out of anyone who put one out. I think that there's no way he didn't touch hundreds of thousands of dollars off of that one, off of that alone, off of that alone. It was the chef's kiss of all of the Drake versus Kendrick reviews, right? With that, whenever we get down to talking about black men, black women relations, just appreciate this FD signifier. Just appreciate this Deontay Kyle. We ain't going. You're not going to get the young men not to believe their lying eyes. Notice what Deontay Kyle tried to do. Once again, shout out to BGS for playing this. Deontay Kyle attempted to say, well, for the black women who do sound like this and act like this, they live in the same society as you. Yeah, they do. Wouldn't that mean they should understand? Ooh, goddamn. I mean, if there are sisters and our mothers and our aunts and our grandmothers, our girl cousins, our fellow classmates, our lovers, our wives, right? Our girlfriends, our coworkers, etc., wouldn't they understand? Shouldn't they understand? Shouldn't they be affording us the same grace that you say we should be affording them? Right? Or is Z asking for too much? Huh? Or is Z just asking for too much? It sounds like Z might just be asking for too much. Yikes. Huh? And the thing with the subscribe to intersection not even get paid, I don't know. I don't know because FD did say, and he was doing too much with that. That if he would have just made red pill content or made red pill adjacent type content, I'm paraphrasing. He would have been so much further. His channel would have grew so much faster. He would have been so much richer. I don't know about that. Huh? To be frank with you, it's a bit saturated. Half of these people they not bringing no data. They not bringing nothing. They just spouting off opinions. I don't know about that, FD. Not to mention, I don't know if you have the charisma to be around us over here on this side of the game. Ooh, goddamn. Huh? Kendrick did say something about keep dancing and waving your hands and there won't be no problems. Ooh, goddamn, Z. Z, you did not just say that out loud. I said it. Huh? And once again, thank you for the super chat, Els. Thank you for the super chat. The FD signifier. FD, brother, there's very few people who are going to be happy that you get into the money as much as Z. Right? I've said it. There's a couple of think pieces you put out that are the final word on the subject. With that, you have, and you said it, and Lil Bill said it, and what's the brother that I covered the other day that was on the waving the red flag? I think I covered his stuff maybe a month ago or a few weeks ago. Y'all have these particular upbringings, and when we listen long enough, you bring up mommy stuff. What it was like to be your mother's son, watching her navigate these supposed sexist black men. And now that you're adults with families of your own, you're still in mommy protection mode. Regardless of how you attempt to quote unquote sympathize or empathize with us, speaking to you, Deontay Kyle, y'all have this default. You all have this default that fundamentally what black women are saying is correct and right, and they're on the right side of history, and they're on the cutting edge. Just like what I covered this morning with Kamal Bell, they're morally superior. And as much as you say no, you don't believe that because, by the way, I think it was the first conversation FD said he don't believe that. BS. Y'all fundamentally believe this. And what you have to appreciate, FD, is that the masses of black men just don't. They just don't have this. Black men are right. Black women are right. They're on the right side of history, and their view of black men is correct. These color purple narratives, these waiting to excel narratives that black women like to push, and that black men like you either believe or attempt to or pretend like you believe for the check. The masses of black men just will not buy into. And what that means is it's not the bros scaring the hoes, as you said. It's not us scaring the hoes. It's who's going to subsidize these hoes. And you know who's not going to subsidize these hoes? A bunch of black men who see men like you and women like Kim Foster as antagonizing them and being dismissive and smug and sassy towards them concerning black women. It's that simple. And Big Mo says, in academic saying, I get, quote unquote, I get money from people to say what I say. It is practically leading into bias introduced by financial conflict of interest. Oh, yeah. Right? Wait, I'm going to butcher it a little bit, but y'all will get the message. I want to say it's an Oscar Wilde quote. It's difficult to get a man to believe something, especially when his paycheck is dependent on him not believing it. I butchered a little bit, but that's the gist of it. Huh? That's the gist of it. You're 100% correct. Huh? Now appreciate. I do think FD believes in much of what he's saying. I don't think it's just for the money. Huh? And when it comes to Deontay Kyle, I think the blow up, because when I first saw Deontay Kyle's subscription numbers, they were like somewhere around 66,000 or something like that. I want to say when I first paid attention to it, right? Because I feel like I might have glimpsed his channel once before, but I wasn't. It wasn't anything that is entertaining to Z. It didn't catch Z's attention like that. But when I first really paid attention to the subscriber numbers, it was 66,000. I think the other day we looked at it, it was 71,000. I think BGS just said now it's 81,000. So he's growing. Good for him. Means nothing. I don't care who FD tries to prop up and put in position, whether it's Little Bill, whether it's Professor Odie, whether it's Foreign Man in a Foreign Land, whether it's Andrewism, now Deontay Kyle, whoever. None of that means anything if you're not getting black women subsidized. I already earlier this morning, shout out to, I think it was Els, we brought up Dr. Cornell West, we brought up Kamal Bell, we brought up Sibo Campbell. All of these dudes, white women or non-black women, now I think Sibo has a mixed-ish woman. Either way, there's a bunch of these brothers, right? Van Jones, ex-wife, white, huh? All these pro-black people, these a bunch of non-black wives. Why is that? Because in intimate relationship, we could maybe work with them. We could, quote unquote, partner with them on a project, on some work, on advancing the black community. But in intimate relationship, well, she gonna go back home to her little Roach Motel ass apartment, pushing her Nissan Sentra, her Toyota Corolla, because we ain't doing it. So we'll work on this project. We'll attempt to advance the black community, mainly the black boys and men. It better be the black boys and men. And then we'll turn around and leave with our pliant, yes, Dr. Sabrina Strings, our pliant black wives or our non-black wives, while y'all go over there and do y'all whole happy single Combahee River Collective munching on each other thing over there. Your quote-unquote queer thing over there. Huh? Shout out to black women. They queer until the white man walk in the room. Ooh, goddamn, Z, you said that out loud. Huh? Yikes. Huh? And KMS says, and thank you for the super chat. Nothing they say a usurp the pain. Oh, nothing they say will. I don't. Yeah. Anyway, nothing they say will usurp the pain in the system. There we go. I think that's what you maybe were trying to say. Okay. Nothing they say will usurp the pain in the system. Black girls are mean. Thank you. The question they are terrified to address until they do, they lose the boys. They think it's their right to be mean. They think it's the girls' right to be sassy and mean. And I agree with them. It is their right to be whoever they want to be, act however they want to act. It's just that we don't have to be around them. This is when they start calling black men and boys sexist. This is when they start calling black males in general wannabe whites, because they should be allowed to and actually be encouraged to be these little mean, snarky, rude, sassy, smug assholes. And we're supposed to be there and low key, high key encourage them to do it to other black men, to everyone, actually, and back them and be like Buddy Road that BGS played on whatever TV series that is, that beat another black man to a pulp in defense of a black woman talking to him crazy. Absolutely not. Huh? We just supposed to be the dumb muscle. Huh? Yikes. Big dumb jocks. Huh? And what's your role?
I miss when men used to protect, provide, and shut up.
Huh? Yikes. So yeah, they can be mean, and it's your job to eat that. Huh? Once again, KMS, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And Better You says, say it again, Z. FD, Lil Bill, Alvin and the Chipmunks still traumatized from their moms being goddamn. See, that's what happened when you don't read ahead. That's what happened when you don't read ahead. Jesus. Damn it, Better You. See, you knew if you left this as a regular comment, I was not going to read it. Jeez, damn it. God damn it, Better You. Z, you're going to have to read it, Z. You have to read it. So super chat, Z. You can't ignore the super chat. God damn. Okay. Better You says, say it right, Z. FD, Lil Bill, Alvin and the Chipmunks still traumatized from their moms being run through, throwing box and couldn't keep none worth a damn. Jesus Christ. The messages Z reads from super chats may or may not be something he endorses and believes in. God damn. And Big Mo over here telling me to say it loud. Right? No, for me, and like I said earlier, I appreciate them giving that bit of the story. And the personal is political. Yes, feminists are the ones who popularized, there you go, Z, popularized the term. With that, a bit of me actually agrees. The personal is political. And so if these brothers had these experiences, I'm not just throwing it in their face. Let's be clear. I'm asking them to consider how this paints their view of black male, black female relations, intimate relations, and how that then paints their view of quote unquote advocating for black women. Now, it sounds weird speaking about quote unquote advocating for black women juxtaposed to black men. It shouldn't be in a well-ordered community, in a well-ordered society, black men versus black women. I agree with the Latina that was given that I want to say commencement speech, maybe, possibly. I agree with her. It shouldn't be man versus woman. It really is a class war, if you're gonna be honest. I agree with her on that. With that, the women wanted this. All that snarky, sassy, mean stuff. They reveled in it when they thought they were winning. Now they looking like they winning too much. I told y'all JD Vance had something for that ass. Now it looked like, uh-oh. Now y'all trying to reel the boys back in without ever admitting or acknowledging the women's role in this. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work. We'll see. Z doubts it. Because a bit of that is telling the men to not believe their lying eyes. Come back home. Come back. It's not like I just set the whole bedroom on fire, cursed you out, tried to shoot you. Just come back home. Come back home. Yeah, that's it. Huh? And better you, once again, don't thank you. I'm not actually thanking you for the super chat, but thank you for the super chat. Right? And KMS says, and thank you for the super chat. Have the panda bears ever considered that the reason black women have umbrage with black women leadership is because we have an intimate interaction with it not working, better yet, let's say that again. We have an intimate relationship with it not working. No, they don't consider that. They don't consider that. They don't consider how many black women don't actually want to work for or with black women. Huh? They don't consider that. It's always internalized misogyny talk. It's always internalized misogynoir talk, right? I think what Army speaks on, that's the Funky Academic, check out his channel, which is how womanhood is constructed, particularly white womanhood, clearly, but this is what other women aspire to. Open kept secret right there. It it leaves something to be desired for this quote unquote leadership. I think the Funky Academic says it perfectly. That if you subscribe to a certain brand of womanhood, then you can't be a leader. Because when it's time to hold you accountable, better yet, excuse me, when it's time to hold you accountable, you duck being responsible. Well, damn, right? That's the issue. At best, what you can do is cosplay leadership. Ooh. But then once again, we got to hold you accountable eventually. Huh? You're not going to always do things right. And when it's time to hold you accountable for the faux pas, then uh-oh. Huh? It speaks to what Charles Faulkner Jr. speaks to when it comes to some of these action movies and whatnot, and like the fact that it's really difficult to paint these women in reality to depict the truth. The truth is, for you to be a hero, you have to go through a hero's journey. You might have to lose an arm. You might have to walk around here with a black eye. Huh? You might have to literally be kicked in the ass and still get the love interest at the end. Well, unless y'all gonna be making a bunch of same-sex loving movies for women, how is this supposed to work? Uh-oh. Huh? The women don't want to see it, and the men, funny enough, the women don't want to see it. The women are less likely to want to see that than the men are. Who's the real sexist? The women just want the women to be able to use the lightsaber. Uh-oh. Huh? Yikes. If we're gonna be honest. Yep. KMS, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And continuing. And Dr. Thunder says, and thank you for the super chat. You see my show this morning? No, I did not. You hip to Drew Afiolo? Not by name. I'll check it out. I'll check it out, Dr. Thunder. I'll check it out. I'll check it out. Yeah, not by name. Right? Yep, it sounds about right. So I'll check that out, Dr. Thunder. Actually, I'll check it out tonight. That way I might do something on that stream tomorrow. We'll see. And oh yeah, Chief Rocker, we did not forget about you. We did not forget about you. Mammy Two Shoes, we didn't forget about you, Chief Rocker. We didn't forget about you. Right. Gotta get to that stream also. Oh, I Um, Rush did send a super chat at the very end of the stream that I did this morning, and he was like in late and whatever, and literally I pressed end, and then I switched back screens and I saw the super chat. So my apologies, Rush. I didn't even get to read the super chat, so this is me acknowledging it right now. Hopefully he's in here to see that or to hear that. So yes, Rush, I saw that super chat last minute. And it was I usually don't shout. Should I start shouting out how much the super chats are? I don't know. Sometimes when I have people read it, they shout it out. So I don't know, but I don't, but maybe I should. I don't know. I'll ask you guys, and I'll put a poll up for that, and I'll there's a funny in there. There's a funny in there. I'll put a poll up, and then I'll see what you guys say to that. But it was a yellow, so it was a $10 super chat. So shout out to you, Rush. I did see that. And hopefully you were able to catch the what you missed in the replay. So shout out to the replay gang. Shout out to the replay gang. Okay, so you said typo. It was black men. Okay, let's read that again then. Give me a second, Doc. Oh, well, okay, yeah, I know what you meant. So you're saying, have the panda bears ever considered that the reason black men have umbrage with black women leadership is because we have an intimate interaction with it not working? And once again, my answer pretty much still stays the same. KMS, no. Whether it's black women who, and I meant it, there's black women that don't want to work under or with black women, not in professional settings anyway, and clearly black men. And the black women, it'll just be seen as internalized misogynoir, and for black men, it'll just be seen as misogynoir. Now we've heard on multiple occasions of women in general, not specifically black women, who start these all women collectives, businesses, firms, and it falls apart, and it's all the same stuff we say. These are all women firms, all women businesses, and it's the cattiness, it's the competition in wardrobe, it's the sneak dissing, all of the stuff that men and women both know that women engage in, all the quote unquote negative stereotypes, they engage in all of it, and ain't no man in sight. Well, of course. Huh? Of course. Look, everyone knows that the men are not making this up. It's time to try to convince you not to believe your lying eyes. So this is where Deontay Kyle comes in. Huh? And it's not just Deontay Kyle. Shout out to you, Kyle Kalinske. I saw what you said about essentially how these conservative young men are becoming cucks for the Republicans. Bro, have you heard how women on the left speak about men? Do I need to even play the clips? Don't let me start playing the clips of the purple hair white feminists, bro. Not you, Mr. Kalinske. Don't make me pull the video of you years ago saying you could never see yourself married and blah, blah, blah. And here comes Crystal Ball. Well, damn. Don't make me pull the clip, Kyle. I remember it. I saw it. As a matter of fact, you said it more than once. How you don't see yourself ever being married. You low-key was saying these women are full of crap. You, Kyle, don't make Z pull it. Yes, y'all. Yes, that Kyle Kalinske. Yes. Secular talk Kyle Kalinske. Yes, that one. Uh-oh. So appreciate. Yeah, we have our own thing going over here in the Black Manosphere, and yes, there are brothers coming after us and antagonizing us and making fun of us and mocking us, but of course, but men in general, there's the leftist men, they don't really know what to do other than tell you you're the one who's being sexist by not going over there and kissing the women's ass and telling them, oh, I'm going to ignore the decades of your sexism and antagonism and you being a willful tool of the elites against the masses of working class, working poor, lower middle class men. These women went along with this knowingly, Kyle. Deontay, whoever this Latina lady it is giving this commencement speech. The women went knowingly. Let's play that clip again just in case y'all didn't see it.
Gender relations in our nation are at an all-time low. And the reason is because we've been sold this con that progress is a zero-sum game. That if women rise, men have to fall. That if people of color get a shot, white people lose theirs. And we're so distracted, so intentionally divided, that we can't see that we're all losing in this game. Because some people rather project an illusion of meritocracy than allow us to live in a real one. In the con, it only works if we're divided. Because if we're too busy pointing fingers, we can't see that the game's been rigged all along. And once a system convinces you that it's fair, it doesn't have to change. For years, I have been talking about how we need to teach girls to be brave, not perfect, but I barely even thought about how we need to teach boys to be soft, not stoic, to connect, not control, to reimagine a version of manhood where strength requires sensitivity, empathy, and care. Because that's how disconnection works. It convinces you that your fight is the only one that matters. And all along, boys needed a lesson in bravery too, because boys are struggling. They're more anxious, they're lonelier, they're less likely to go to college, more likely to die of suicide and overdose. And instead of being handed care, they're being handed division. Not just by the podcast bros, but by a government that is actively stoking the divide. When very rich and powerful people want to dismantle pipeline programs that give everyone else a fair shot, you got to ask yourself, why? They've built a world where men and women don't talk to each other, don't see each other, don't trust each other. Disconnection isn't just the consequence, it's the goal. Because if we don't see each other, we won't stand up for each other. Class of 2025, the story that you've been told that power is the pie, and you got to fight for your slice, that's a lie. They got you so busy fighting a gender war to keep you from fighting a class war. Real power comes from connection. When we commit to one another's success, we don't just survive, we soar.
You know, now that the young men took their gloves off, now that the young men said, "Oh, so prison rules it is." Now everybody's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa," right? Whoa. Now everybody's telling the young men, "Whoa, whoa, 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 please, please, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not what we. Wait. That's not what we're doing. No, wait. Nope. Huh? Now that the young men sound like this,
it's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
now that the men are sounding like that, the young men are sounding like that to the young women. Now everybody's starting to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up. Huh? Uh-oh. Huh? Division, ma'am. The women were willingly antagonistic. I want to stress this. If this lady ever come across this, ma'am, the girls and the women are mean. They're mean. They're belittling. They're dismissive. They're condescending. And they admit to it, and they enjoy it, and they say they enjoy it. Once again.
If you are broke and I choose to deal with you, I will belittle you. It is what it is.
Huh? Y'all lucky Mr. Z don't got the time. I can't play Munchkin right now. They're mean. And to Black Uru's comment, where did that comment go? Let me see in the comment. I will read it. And then there it goes. And Black Uru says, one of the biggest secrets in upper echelon Black women business leaders is how many of them loathe hiring other Black women, and some will outright refuse to hire Black women if they can get away with it. So, Black Uru, I covered this the other day when I was covering Chrissy speaking about an artist called Moneylong, MUNILONG, which is funny because she is black mixed Asian. I can't remember what Asian country I want to say her mother is from, but she looks black. If you see her, you won't even she has the almond shaped eyes, but everything else about her is just standard black woman, down to the way she speaks and the way she emotes and whatnot. With that, um, someone tried to check her in her comments, and she checked that person back in the comments. It was a black woman, and so black women came for her because she was like, "I'm not gonna be spoken down to." Black women came for her, and she responded with saying, "Y'all have no idea how many black women in Hollywood don't want nothing to do with y'all." This was part of her response to the black women who were going at her in social media. And Chrissy reviewed that, and even Chrissy said, "I think she's right." Yes, because y'all are mean. Y'all are mean and dismissive and condescending and rude, and y'all are rude to dear black women. Y'all are rude to everyone. The difference is, outside the black community, nobody cares, and they just dismiss you and shoo you along. They borderline laugh in your face, or even worse, they let you know that they don't have to deal with you. They're not black men. Ooh, goddamn. They're purposely rude back to you. As a matter of fact, they're rude before y'all can even get it out. Alexa, play the clip of the British guy speaking to Dr. Sabrina Strings, please. That's how they treat y'all. Huh? So to what Black Rue's saying, yes, there's even black women that occasionally come out of these circles and they'll say it. And to Z, the whole money long situation, what Z took out of that is that money long said other black women don't want to be around y'all. Black women with money. Because y'all be blowing up their spot with the crassness, the meanness, the rudeness, and even if you have class, the overbearing, heavy-handed, rude, smug sassiness. This, dear black women, y'all sassiness is over 9,000. It's over 9,000. It breaks the Richter scale. Simply put. Huh? And Deontay Kyle want us to sign up for that? Yeah, that's it. Huh? Not backstabbers, Trail Bentley. They smile in your face. Oh, not backstabbers. Oh man. I mean, they did. Polly Murray, shout out to you. Rest in peace. Anyway. Huh? Yikes. And so once again, Dr. Thunder, I will check that out. I will check that out. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Mr. Z gonna have to end out in a minute. And KMS says, I have yet met a well-adjusted person who has never caught at least one justified, fantastic, and through sickening, if you will. Okay, I'm a little lost on this comment, KMS. I've yet met a well-adjusted person who has never caught at least one justified, fantastic, and sickening. Extrapolate that. Okay, Mr. Z brain is moving slow right now, apparently. So it's gonna take me a minute to extrapolate on that. Yeah, that part. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Right. Oh, okay. Ass kicking. Yeah. Okay, let's read that again then. Yet met a person, a well-adjusted person who has never caught at least one. Okay, it registers now, y'all. Yeah, don't judge me. Who has never caught at least one justified, fantastic, and I want to say thorough ass kicking. Extrapolate, if you will. No, sometimes you got somebody got to put a foot up your ass. Like we all know this, huh? All these folks want to quote Zora Neale Hurston, and last time I checked, Zora Neale didn't she say something like black women and white men are the two freest people in America? Didn't she say something like that? If I'm not mistaken, I never hear them say that. And what does it mean, Mr. Z? Remember, We're not talking about freedom, really. We're talking about negative liberty. Dear Black women, what does it mean for you to practice and go the full extent of your negative liberty, as much as America will allow, white people will allow? What does it look like when you stretch negative liberty till its full on extent? How do you expect Black men to respond to that? I didn't say react. Huh? So if you not getting a thorough ass kicking unless you delete your child, or you're that, I mean, so there's not a word to describe how bad of a mother you are, to the point where they're like, okay, now you embarrassing us. Now we got to take the kids. If that's the only time is when you delete someone, or when you're that toxic of a mother that they have no choice but to take the kids because because of the embarrassment. Huh? Or you just crossed the wrong white woman, that part. If that's the only time you get any type of punishment, of course you're going to act the way you do. Huh? Of course. We saw how Miss Foster weaponized her tears against Obsidian. Her crocodile tears. Huh? We seen these Black women throw temper tantrums all over the goddamn internet. Right? And I'm going to have to do something about that, because I actually looked it up, and there are a couple of videos of adults throwing straight up temper tantrums, mainly women. Uh-oh. Anybody want to talk about emotional intelligence and regulating your emotions? Huh? And being in touch with your emotions? Throwing whole ass childlike temper tantrums, and they're in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Throwing whole childlike temper tantrums in the store. At the airport. At the airport? At the airport. You imagine a man, a Black man, throwing a temper tantrum in the airport? You will either be tased or shot and then drug out or arrested. Huh? So yes, when you don't get a good, swift kick to the ass for decades, well, you turn into these little soft, fragile, but mean and condescending. How you mean and rude and condescending, and you soft and fragile simultaneously? Goddamn. You turn into these women. Aggressive and fragile simultaneously. Y'all heard it here first. How you aggressive and fragile? Jesus. Chihuahua much? Huh? And there's a whole lot of these women running around here. It's not just a Black woman thing. These sassy ass Asian women, these Latinas, these white women, these Black women, aggressive as hell to men and to even some women, while being fragile as hell. Get your lame ass the hell up out of here. So yes, KMS, no, I finally registered. Thank y'all for walking Z through. I needed my hands held on that one. I needed my hand held on that one. Thank y'all. Right, and thank you for the super chat once again, KMS. Thank you for the super chat. Right. And KMS says, stop protecting them. And thank you for the super chat once again. He says, stop protecting them from earned ass whooping they have coming. There, I said it. Hey, it looks like that's the goal of the left. That's the goal of the left. And at least for the next 4 years, although I do think this is gonna last past Donald Trump's term in office, right? At least for the next 4 years, they don't got nothing out of the White House. At least let's see how this midterm election turn out, right? With that, at least for the next 4 years, that's their ass. And I agree with Dr. T 100% what he said last night. I want to say, which is, it looks like they're hoping and praying that they could get a reversal of all of this in 2028, and I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't. Huh? I don't see it. And going right from what KMS is to what Captain Obvious is, Captain Obvious says, winter is here. Winter is here. Right? And let me see. Do I still got it? I still got it. Guess what? We gonna play. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. We gonna play it, y'all. Here you go.
You guys have been living in a fantasy land. You think that it's not going to happen. You think there's going to be some kind of bailout. There's going to be something else. There's going to be nothing. People right now are being put on the streets. In Dallas-Fort Worth, the constables are moving people out, putting their stuff on the front yard. You want to know what's coming, ladies? They're decriminalizing the oldest profession in the book. In New York City right now, the governor, the mayor said we're not going after people who are loitering the streets. So, like it or not, some parts of Manhattan, some parts of the 5 boroughs have been turned into right there in the streets. Go to World Star, you'll see the video yourself. Broad daylight, transactions happening on a stoplight. Guess what? That's New York. Guess where else is about to come? California. States across the country, because why? There's not enough money to give to people. And if you're a woman and you have a regular job, you know, let's just look at it. If you were not an essential worker during the pandemic, you are at risk. I was in Neiman Marcus the day they shut the world down, and I had never seen panic like that before. And all those women's eyes, because many of them have been with that company for 20 years. All they had done is retail. Neiman Marcus is on the verge of bankruptcy, and the only thing that saved Neiman Marcus was the pandemic. Those women over there know they are coming back. And when the world stops again, many of these 40-year-old women are not going to have a job to go to and have no skills in the environment. Ladies, winter is coming. Winter is coming. Winter is coming, and when winter comes, it does not, and this is not just the winter. We are heading into what I'm going to call the long night. It's not going to just be 3 months. It's not going to just be 6 months. We're talking about a global reset for the world. The world, I have been studying this for the better part of 2 years. Look at what's going on in South Korea and Japan. You think it's a joke? You think it's a game? There are villages in Japan where people are outnumbered by freaking dolls. I'm not kidding. Japan is dying. An aging population and a group of people who are not dating. They're not dating. They're not marrying. They're not getting together. You know what it's called? Hikomori. Socially withdrawal. Socially withdrawn. These I'm talking about men 45 and under. Same thing with women. Remember we talked about korukoshi? People dying in their apartments. We talked about Singyu, leftover cake, leftover women. Ladies, it's here. Winter is coming. August will be it. August, when the schools open, the people who have not been working will be forced to go back to work because the children must be in school. The daycares that are left will be there. What are you going to do if you go and have a job and you've been downsized, you've been automated? How many people have been to a McDonald's recently? And you'll notice that most of the front register staff is gone. It's kiosks. The largest 2 employers in our community of black women are federal government and retail. Retail is dead. We have 26.4 square feet of retail space for every American. The next largest developed country has 6. We have 6 times too many retail spaces. This is why you're seeing dying malls across the country. And what's going on? Because so many women are not being told to think about their long term. This is coming as a surprise. This is why women in Korea are saying we need to, the society is not set up for single people. And what the society needs to do is re-engineer itself for singles. Bullshit, it's not going to happen. Basically, what women in Korea and Japan are hoping that single men who had no family, no children, and have been locked out of the sexual marketplace because of this hypergamy will somehow come and save their lives. Not going to happen.
Exactly.
All right. Go ahead and unmute.
Exactly. Huh? FD. Deontay. No. And now what? Will some men go? Yes. Will some black men go? Yes. Will some of them sign up knowingly and willingly and know what could potentially happen to them because she don't really want to be with you anyway, but she's starving and she's desperate? Yes. You'll get some. You won't get all. It's debatable if you get most. And the women need just about all. The women need just about all the men. Yeah. Huh? Yikes. Natty out here sounding like this.
I did everything they said that was going to make me happy. I built a career. I got my own place. I went on solo trips like a pro. The best hotels. flying business, you name it, right? The works. And I stayed independent, but no one told me about how lonely I was going to be on those trips. Being successful looks really good on the outside, but and I'm proud of everything that I did. Don't get me wrong. Like, alhamdulillah, I'm very proud of all of my accomplishments, but it was very lonely. I feel very lonely all the time.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Now, Dr. Dunbar, I think she's some type of Muslim descent. If you hear, she actually said do Mr. Z could never get it out, especially not the first time. But yeah, so I think some type of Middle Eastern, probably. So yeah, yeah, so that part. And Blanco says, "Oh wow, she's Arabic. What y'all think? Once you come to the West, it's your if you're not in a burqa with phone restriction to the internet, and you can't watch TV. Once she's in the West, it's over. It's only a matter of time. Let's say, okay, fine. You move from, I don't know, Turkey or Jordan or Syria or wherever, right? Iraq, right? You move from there to America. Let's say your wife doesn't become Americanized. All right, cool. Maybe you got your daughter. Maybe. That's a strong ass maybe. Your granddaughter, she gone. Even if you don't get her to your granddaughter. But more likely your granddaughter, she out there. It's done. It's done. It's a done deal. It's done. Huh? If you don't got her in a burqa where only thing that covered is her eyes, it's over. Huh? It's done. So, yeah. Right. So, and Joe says, and thank you for the super chat. We go end on out. Joe says, I'm a winner, baby. The cold ain't nothing to me. Joe said, hey, that winter don't mean nothing to me. Huh? So, on that note, I just want to kind of back up what BGS was saying earlier with Deontay Kyle again and his coverage of FD. I keep saying this. FD, forget the bros are scaring the hoes. The men are scaring the hoes. As you said, y'all scaring the hoes, as you said at the end of one of your videos. Forget that. No. Somebody gonna have to subsidize these hoes. Once again, shout out to Black Uru. Somebody gonna have to pay for these hoes. And the men said, yeah, about that. And unfortunately for the women, the government, the US government said, yeah, about that. Huh? Uh-oh. Huh? And that's why I played what I played from the, I want to say she's probably Latina, giving that commencement speech. That's why I played that. They are trying to find somewhere to get the men back on the program without saying, okay, yeah, we messed up. Yeah, we antagonized you. Yeah, we were mean. Yeah, we were willing participants in elite rich white men's game. We did it enthusiastically, huh? Yikes. And AB says, question, why does FD care so much about the hoes? I think first he's a feminist, which is understandable. Like, care about the women, right? He just says hoes, but care about the women. Understandable. Like, I don't want to make this seem like many of us don't care about black women. It's just how are you acting? If you not acting right, then door to your door, right? If you're not on a black man's program, then it really is. Right? And the difference is we're willing to do that and FD's not. And his ilk are not. And Deontay Kyle, whether he was willing to do it in the past and now he done quote unquote turn a new leaf, he sounds like he's not. And that's the difference. Huh? That's the difference. So why does he care about the hoes? First of all, if you're a black man in America, you're gonna care about black women. If you care. If you care about community and society, I keep saying this, we're attached by the hip. Women, black women are the ones who have for decades attempted to sever that tie. And now they're gonna have to eat the consequences of that. Right? But he's a black male feminist. FD is a black male feminist, right? And this is his idea of community, right? So there's that part too, right? Oh boy, Mr. Black Pill himself, the Roger Report, right? It'd be the Roger Report, it'd be BGS. And what's going on, Raj? And the Roger Report says, and thank you for the super chat. As a single man with no children, I have no concern about what single old above 30 women have to go through to survive. They ain't my people. Y'all notice how Mr. Z said, they ain't my people, right? Because that's definitely how Raj would say it. He'll pause for like half a millisecond and be like, they ain't my people. I have to get my Chicago on to say that. Right? And no. And Raj, I'm hearing more and more people say they just not good people. And like whenever I hear it, I'm like, that's the Raj Report. That's the Raj Report. And shout out to the Raj Report. Oh man, Raj, put the link for your new channel in the comments real quick so I could highlight it. If you can put the link for the new channel. If not, somebody put the link for the new channel and I'll pin it. Give me a second, y'all. As a matter of fact, once y'all do it, I'll pin the comment. Right. For those of you that don't know, that's the Roger Report. Check out his channel. He should be streaming tomorrow, right? So tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, right? So let me see. Did you do that? Give me a second, Roger. Let me check. So. If not, I'll just put it in the description box afterward. Right? Yeah. So on that note, y'all, the Roger Report, of course, it was the last person in trying to be fashionable. We don't care about Chicago like that. Right? But with that, y'all, this was a regular stream. Mr. Z got last minute things to do. Don't put it in the comments. Don't put it in the comments. Okay, there it goes. All right. There it goes. Wait a minute. Thanks, Tro. And let me gang, replay gang. Click that pinned comment. Well, will they be able to see it? They'll be able to see it. I think. Yeah. So thanks for that, Tro. And shout out to the Roger Report. Thank you once again for the super chat. And on that note, y'all, we will pause right here. Love Piece of Chicken Grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content for the love of God. And Deontay Kyle did what? At the FD signifier, bro. I seen that little snipe. I wasn't sure it was directed towards me, but my subscribers think it was directed towards me. And so does BGS, so I'm gonna say it was probably directed towards me. Brother, you could keep your 1 million subscribers. Shout out to you. Good luck in your endeavors. But none of that mean nothing if you can't get the whole subsidized. And I end it right there. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Mr. Z out.